Hello and welcome. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. Today, we're going to talk about cryptocurrency news. Bitcoin surges above $9,700. Look out, because here it comes. Central banks unite around cryptocurrency. So the governments of the world are beginning to wake up and devise plans for creating cryptocurrencies. And 3 common crypto tax mistakes. Are you making any one of these cryptocurrency tax mistakes? I hope not, because it comes with penalties. So let's get right into it. Our cat Blue has a challenge. Can we get 10 likes on this video? Will you help Blue by clicking the like button? I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion. I'm not smarter than you. You are smarter than you realize. Do not trust what I say. Do your own research. We're going to help you do some of your own research because at the end of this video, in the comments section, in the description section on the YouTube channel, we're going to include links to all of these different articles. And so if you want to read the article in its entirety or follow some of the links in the articles themselves to learn more about any of these particular topics, we're going to help you to do your own research. So if you don't see the links, maybe you're watching this on Facebook or Twitter or something else. If you don't see the links below, just click the link to get to the YouTube version of the video, the YouTube webpage of the video, and that's where you'll find the links to the articles. So let's get into it. Bitcoin's uptrend is gathering pace and many altcoins are surging as well. Bitcoin pushed prices to fresh 3-month highs above 9,700, reinstating the bullish view aborted by a doji candle earlier this week. The indicators on the daily and weekly charts are signaling strong bullish momentum. Bitcoin could test the psychological resistance of $10,000 in the near term. Pullbacks, if any, could be short-lived. So it looks like, and this is just my personal opinion, this is not financial advice, but it looks like Bitcoin could hit $10,000 sometime before the weekend or during this weekend because of the types of movement we've seen over the last week or 2 weeks. And the $10,000 price range is going to have a lot of resistance because there's a lot of people that have orders out there to sell cryptocurrencies once it hits $10,000. And so we'll have to sell off all of that crypto that's sitting there at the $10,000 price range. And then once all of that is sold off, then we'll be able to soar past the $10,000 price range. And this is just my belief, my personal opinion, but in my personal opinion, I think we're going to go significantly past the $10,000. May not happen right away, but in the coming weeks and months, I think we're gonna hit that $14,000 or $20,000 price ranges before the cryptocurrency halvening, which is happening either near the end of April or early part of May. The date is changing because the hash rate is increasing and the algorithms are not quite keeping up pace. So the number of blocks that are getting mined on Bitcoin has actually increased because of the increase in hash rate. So Bitcoin, the top cryptocurrency by market value, found bids near 9,100 during the Asian trading hours on Wednesday and rose to a fresh 3-month high of 9,755 during the late U.S. session. The convincing break above 9,600, a level which saw Bitcoin turn down lower earlier this week, has revived the immediate bullish view aborted by Monday's doji candle. At press time, Bitcoin is changing hands at $9,615, representing a 4% gain on a 24-hour basis, according to CoinDesk's Bitcoin Price Index. And then they also talk about some of the other altcoins, because while Bitcoin has been going up by 4%, 5%, 3% over a 24-hour basis over the last 4 or 5 days or so, some of the altcoins have been going up even more. For instance, Ethereum's ETH is currently reporting a 9% gain on the 24-hour basis. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's offshoot BCH and Bitcoin SV are flashing double-digit gains, and Litecoin and EOS are up at 5% each. XRP, the third largest cryptocurrency, is up just 0.75%. Excuse me. And so if you're invested in anything other than Bitcoin, some of the other altcoins, you may be seeing greater gains than what you're seeing out of Bitcoin. And so I think we're on the verge of our next multi-month bull run, especially because we're approaching the Bitcoin halvening. And if you're not familiar with the Bitcoin halvening, we have other videos out there that go into it in more detail. And I strongly recommend that you become more familiar with the halvening, because that's going to cause Bitcoin to be more scarce than it is today. And scarcity tends to increase the price, especially as more and more people are entering the market and getting involved in it. So, new central bank group to discuss digital currency benefits at April meeting, according to this report. In mid-April, the chiefs of 6 central banks, as well as the Bank of International Settlements, BIS, will hold a meeting in Washington to discuss the potential creation of their own digital currencies, according to a report from Nikkei. The planned meeting is the first by the new group formed last month amid growing concerns among financial authorities about the rise of regulated digital fiat currencies, most notably Facebook's Libra and China's digital yuan. In January, central banks from the UK, Sweden, Switzerland, Canada, Japan, and the EU formed the working group with BIS in order to further study the application and feasibility of central bank digital currencies. The central banks plan to discuss how digital currencies could streamline international payments, and will also look at the security measures that might be required according to the report. And so it's good news that the central banks are finally starting to wake up and pay attention. But it looks like the catalyst that's forcing them to wake up has been Facebook's Libra coin, which hasn't even launched. And time will tell if it even actually does launch, but it looks like it should launch, and will probably launch in a more limited fashion than the worldwide global cryptocurrency that Facebook had originally intended it to be. But give Facebook enough time, and Libra may still yet become a global, worldwide digital cryptocurrency. Also, not long after Facebook announced its Libra, the government of China announced that they're coming out with their own digital yuan, their own digital cryptocurrency, which is backed by the Central Bank of China. So China is currently closest to launch of a CBDC among major nations, with People's Bank of China reportedly testing a digital yuan. Now, other central banks, including the U.S. Federal Reserve, have started to look more seriously at the possibility, in part to avoid falling behind China if it launches a globally used digital fiat that might rival the dollar's international status. Top officials of 6 banks will prepare their findings on CBDCs before the leaders meet in April at the sidelines of an international conference in Washington. So this is all really good news, especially when the United States is also involved in this. And with the Federal Reserve, the U.S. Federal Reserve, looking into how they can create their own digital cryptocurrency, we may yet see a U.S.-backed digital currency in the near future. And so that would be a great thing for the market. All it's going to do is help promote or make Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies more prominent in people's minds and more comfortable with getting invested in it, when they can go straight from a US-backed digital currency into other forms of digital currencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, possibly even Libra, depending on how it launches and where it launches. So it'll be interesting to see. This year, 2020, is going to be quite a year for cryptocurrency, and it really, even the next 2 to 5 years should be very significant. So there's 3 common tax pitfalls with cryptocurrencies, and everybody should want to avoid these. So filing crypto taxes is not an option, not optional. It is required by the tax law. If you are still under the impression that the IRS has no visibility into your crypto activity, read, and we're going to look at some of this, how the IRS knows you owe crypto taxes. It's a post, another post. We're looking at the Forbes website here, and it's another article on Forbes. Whether you are a self-filer or using a professional to file your taxes, this post discusses 3 common crypto tax pitfalls and how you can easily avoid to stay out of the IRS radar. So the first one is not reporting it at all. That's an easy one to overcome. You need to gather the information for your cryptocurrency taxes because there are stiff penalties and stiff liabilities for not reporting. And as mentioned a moment ago, the IRS knows that you owe crypto taxes. And so we'll take another look at this article. I've shown it previously in a video, but it's still quite important. So reporting only losses or tax-friendly transactions. So don't just cherry pick which transactions that you're going to show on your taxes. You want to report all of the transactions for your taxes. And the last one is poor to no record keeping. So if I personally had, for 2018, we had bought 30 different altcoins and sold 30 different altcoins and created a bunch of different transactions, because with each of those, I would move money, or I would move cryptocurrency to an exchange. I would trade my cryptocurrencies from one crypto to another crypto until I had all 30 that I was interested in, and then I took them off of the exchanges and deposited them into hardware wallets. And it was all of that action. Each time you move a cryptocurrency, say you move it from a hardware wallet off to an exchange, that creates a transaction. And you have to record that transaction because, like it or not, the IRS is aware of that transaction. They're using services that let them dig deep into the records that are kept on the blockchain so that they can actually figure it out. So we're going to briefly take a look at this article that we have in the past, and it's how the IRS knows that you owe crypto taxes. And so the first one is forms that are reported by different exchanges. If you're using a US-based exchange such as Coinbase or Gemini or one of the others, they by law have to file different forms with the IRS, letting the IRS know that you bought cryptocurrency on that exchange. The next area is through subpoenas. The IRS has been subpoenaing various cryptocurrency exchanges, and those exchanges have given up that information. And so again, if you bought cryptocurrency using an exchange, and they've been doing these, the IRS has been doing these subpoenas not just with US exchanges, but also with foreign exchanges. And those foreign exchanges, because they've wanted to continue doing business, and didn't want to get into any kind of legal battles, have just simply given the data over to the IRS. And so that's one of the reasons why about 9 months ago, 6 months ago, the IRS sent out over 10,000 letters to people that had not filed cryptocurrency tax report, had not filed that they had cryptocurrency on their tax returns. And so the IRS sent out 10,000 letters. Well, where they got the information was from these subpoenas and from the 1099-Ks and Bs. The last area that this particular article talks about is the Schedule 1 virtual currency question. And so starting with the 2020 tax season, on your Schedule 1, every taxpayer has to answer at any time during the year whether you received, sold, sent, exchanged, or otherwise acquired any financial interest in any virtual cryptocurrency. And so if you had cryptocurrency from any method, whether or not you were just buying something and that something included cryptocurrency, or you traded it, you sold it, you were holding it, etc., etc. You're going to have to answer that question on your tax report. And if you don't honestly answer it, it could have significant tax penalties. And there were a couple of articles I read that even talked about possible jail time, because when you sign your annual tax return, you say there's a statement in there that says, by penalty of fraud, I verify that everything in this is true. And if you were not truthful about this cryptocurrency tax question on the IRS form, then it actually could have jail penalties because you just committed a fraud. So you don't want to play around with that. I'm going to put a link also in this article so that if you need to get help gathering the information for your cryptocurrency taxes, this is a company that goes out and it gathers all the information for your cryptocurrency taxes and helps you create the documents you need for the IRS when you're filing. And so you won't have to worry about missing any transactions, because this software will help you figure out, oh, I need to add this, I need to do that, XYZ, until you've got everything to report that the IRS needs you to report on for your cryptocurrency taxes. And so we'll also include a link to their website as well. So in conclusion, how can I be of service to you? Do you have any questions? Was there anything that I didn't cover or talk about in depth enough? Or is there something that you disagree with? I'm interested in your polite disagreements, because you know things I don't know. I know things that you don't know. And if we share that information together, we're going to grow smarter. So grow smarter together. I want to grow smarter with you, and I hope that you'd like to grow smarter with me. In the meantime, I hope that you'll like, subscribe, and hodl. And do me a favor, have a fantastic